Dude, I
All right,
I had it like that. One of the last times I had hair, dude, I was like 22. I let it grow, got it to about my shoulder, and that was as far as I didn't want to go.
Yeah.
all right.
I can put that.
Let's you're lucky. Let's do some footwork first. Make sure that you get a good picture, because now the ones before you can only see side. You don't really see much of the hands, you know, and the feet. This way, it's a much better angle. Very good. Okay, so step forward into right bending stance. Open guard. Yes, your princess. All right, front hand. Repeat. 1, 2, 3, 4, and retreat. 1, 2, 3, 4, and walk back. Front hand. Repeat. 1, 2, 3, 4, and retreat. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, rear hand. Repeat. 1, 2, 3, 4, and retreat. 1, 2, 3, 4, and walk forward. Rear hand. Repeat. 1, 2, 3, 4, and retreat. 1, 2, 3, 4, and walk back. Double punching, front hand first. 1, 2, 3, 4, and retreat. 1, 2, 3, 4. Walk forward. And walk forward. Front hand first. Double punching. 1, 2, 3, 4, and retreat. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right. Walk back. Double punching. Front hand, rear hand, front foot. 1, 2, 3, 4, and retreat. Double punching and kick. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, walk back. Same drill. Double punching and kick. 1, 2, 3, 4, and retreat. 1, 2, 3, 4. Very good, and walk back. Beautiful. Okay. While we're on the subject, because you guys both learning swords, so we're going to do this sword, not form, swords without a sword. Because that way you can easily transition between weapons and empty hands. Okay? Right, so, right side forward. Okay? Okay, so now think about your hand, your arms as the swords. Okay? This is typically the swords themselves are not sharpened like this. Traditionally, it's only sharpened this part for some reason. Only this, not in the entire the side. It's only from here. Yeah. Interesting. That okay.
If this other company flakes out, should I order that pair? Was that the next best choice?
That's kind of.
They were pricey, the pair.
Yeah, they're pricey, but they're in like 4 days.
Right?
4 days. Yeah. Very, very good service. You know, the minute you pay, you say we're sending out. This is the number.
UPS or FedEx?
This one's from USPS, US Postal Service.
Oh, it's postal.
Yeah. Boom. It's free. Free shipping. Yeah. It's pricey. It's $199. beautiful swords.
Yeah, they're nice.
Perfectly balanced.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so Duncan Leon, who is a very good fighter, and he's probably in his late 60s. He developed the swords and found, according to his website, found a maker in China or Hong Kong, one of those countries. Well, it's the same country. Hong Kong belongs to China. Either Hong Kong or most likely China, because labor is cheaper. Okay, so he found this maker and then started producing it. Unlike the original look was probably by a local blacksmith, you know, in Virginia Beach is where he was teaching. I think he's semi-retired. His top students was taken over, I believe. You don't see much of him anymore. But I like the old ones. The old ones that used to cut wood, you know. I was going to get the old one, which is very crude. It's not a mirror finish. But I didn't, and then boom, several years gone by, this is like 5-6 years ago, I should have gotten a pair, which was cheaper back then, it was like $80, $90, but it's not. It's beautifully produced like this. It was just someone, you know, in the shop, just did that and wrapped it with some cloth, you know, not polished, just very crude steel. But I love the look. But they don't do that anymore. You know, they'd be mass produced. So anyway. While we're on the subject of Bachangdo, I saw, of course, it was sold on some website. I just kind of, you know, sometimes you get on a link and it takes you to someplace else you've never been. You know, it's like an auction house in China. They found this pair of old, 300 years, at least 150 years old Bachangdo.
Wow.
I know. I was like, wow, it was sold.
Right.
Yeah. Amount undisclosed, you know. So people like us who are like fanatics about, this is your authentic one, a piece of history. They will pay thousands of dollars for that, you know.
Sure.
Somebody made a bar for a museum, for a Mincheng Museum, which is located in Ohio, of all places.
Yeah, that's right.
I know.
Really?
I don't think I'll be traveling to Ohio anytime soon. No disrespect, but
That's the only thing to do in Ohio.
I don't know. Flies?
Yeah. Go to the museum. That and Simple Cow, and you're done.
That's right. But the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, it's also somewhere in the Midwest, I believe.
I don't know.
Yeah, but there's some terrible bands got elected to that in the last few years.
Yeah.
Like,
You would imagine.
I can't remember which ones, but
You know, you would imagine somewhere in New York or at least San Francisco, Los Angeles, or
Maybe
bigger cities, you know.
Miami.
Yeah, you know, where it's happening.
Right.
It doesn't say that Midwest don't have great bands. John Mellencamp, John Cougar,
definitely.
where it's from. Yes. But anyway,
Born
all right.
Journey.
There you go.
Yeah. Okay, so let's go back to the right side. Your close guard, right? Okay, so everything we do from now on is going to be open-handed. Just think about the swords now are attached, become part of your arms. So basically, from the elbow down, that's your sword. Okay. Okay. From here, we're going to use the palm down or palm up. Palm down is a futsal strike. Palm up is a jiangsao strike or tansao strike. You really, jiangsao and tansao can't really distinguish. Tansao, jiangsao depends on where you're going, right? Are you using jiangsao or using tansao, right? Basically, when you use this, when you use like this is the edge of the sword. This is the back of the sword. So if you do this, you are defending with back and cutting or chopping with the edge, right? Like that. Okay. All right. So from right stance, we're going to go into striking with wu sao. All you have to do is substitute sao with the word do, D-A-O, S-A-O, D-A-O. Okay, or Dao. Dao will be the Mandarin pronunciation. Do will be the Cantonese pronunciation. So if we say Do, okay, right hand, okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, and retreat. 1, 2, 3, 4. Walk forward. Same thing front hand. Repeat. 1, 2, 3, 4, and retreat. 1, 2, 3, 4, and walk back. All right. Rear hand. 1, 2, 3, 4, and retreat. 1, 2, 3, 4, and walk forward. Rear hand. Repeat. 1, 2, 3, 4. Retreat. 1, 2, 3, 4, and walk back. Okay. You notice when you use either the front hand or the rear hand, it lacks power. It doesn't have power. So we are going to add the wrist. Okay? Just like when we do empty hand in the forearm, double sword form, you feel that up and down or sideways motion. Okay? Again, this is from the form, the empty hand forms. Right? Okay. Most people, when they do the form, the third form, they tend to use brushing movement. Up and down brushing movement or sideways brushing movement. Okay? These movements, this is not wrong. But you can also do like the belly form. So the brushing is you take the focus away from fingertips and shift it to the wrist. So the same movement this way becomes this way. Right? It's a very obvious difference between this and this. Okay? Same thing, this. Brushing up and down becomes very different. Okay? Now this one was taught a long time ago. From the very beginning, when you guys first started, I believe I taught everybody the same way because that's the foundation.
Yeah.
Now it comes back, full circle. Whoa! Many years ago you were doing this, but that's preparation for this. We're back to this now, okay? It's a full circle, right?
Yeah.
From empty hand, close fist back to empty hand. That's the beauty of the system. There's nothing else.
And now we understand that with directions.
Exactly.
So we just apply that same concept.
Yes. Luckily for us, we're using double swords, which allows us to use one sword to defend, the other sword to attack. Just like same concept, transfer back and forth. Okay? Alright, so right step forward again. This time, before you strike, you want to do like a, in the beginning you can emphasize that by do this. If you're going down next, go up first, like this. Okay? And they really feel the power being released. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4. Excellent. Retreat. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay? Just changing sides. Just do the rear hand. Same thing. 1, 2, 3, 4. And retreat. 1, 2, 3, 4. Walk back. Rear hand first. 1, 2, 3, 4. And retreat. 1, 2, 3, 4. And forward. Front hand. 1, 2, 3, 4. Retreat. 1, 2, 3, 4. And you notice that is exactly the same as you were doing it with a vertical punch. See?
Yes, sir.
Right?
Yeah.
You do the same thing. The only difference is you don't clinch. you stay open.
Yeah.
Okay? But practicing like this allows you to become very good at issuing an explosive jing, which the Chinese martial arts call short power. And that's very, very important, especially in a situation where you don't have room to breathe. Right? Either you're on the ground or he's on the ground. You don't want to do this type of punching, which everybody does, even with elbow strike. It's very intimidating, very intimidating because you see this object coming at you, right? But what people fail to see is that you're taking 3 movements. 1, 2, 3. Right? So if we're used to doing only 1, that's a wasteful, very wasteful. And it's like eternity. If you have to raise your arm to hit me, I already hit you 2, 3 times. So this allows you to really learn how to get power from wherever you are. Your arms can be this close to him, you can still do a lot of damage. You know? So that's the biggest difference.
And we can also now apply this on a defensive.
Absolutely, yes.
Without space.
Yep. You can see how the dummy form eventually transcends into the sword form. All this is in preparation. Honestly, I don't know how many people saw it. Okay, okay, because when you see the form, the sword forms, same form performed by other people. Very few people do what we're doing. They will do that only. Yeah, exactly. Trust me. You go on. Remember? You see it? They all do this. They're still using the arm strength. Okay. The only time you see them doing the so-called masters, people who are in that category rather than a novice, people like to post themselves. Some are really bad. You know, just like this. Oh, Nicholson, please. At least he has a lot of appreciation of himself, which is good. But
I thought you guys say having fun at least, but that's
exactly. Please subscribe to my channel. Well, for what?
That's like what not to do.
Right, exactly. There you go. Subscribe so I should remind myself not to do what you're doing. So you
and
see
then the comments, though. Sorry to interrupt you.
No.
The comments people make are ridiculous. Everybody arguing. You know?
Yeah,
Nobody explains like how you explain it. That we're all doing the same thing. The human body's only moving in the same way.
Right.
You know, once he teaches us to think that way, you're like, wow, you guys are so out there with I'm better and you don't get my punch is better than yours. Like,
exactly.
You guys are all
Right.
your comments are
all back and forth.
yes. That's what I mean by that.
Yeah, that's why I turn the comments off.
Yeah.
People can see the video, but they can't comment. You know, I don't want to get upset looking at reading those comments saying that you guys are not doing good, this is open bar, you know. But
exactly. I stopped reading everybody's. I just watch videos. I don't read anymore.
It's just like just see what I can learn from it. Learn what to do and learn what not to do. You know. So the only time you see a so-called master level people do it, they will do the wrist motion only in the beginning. Only when you do the stabbing thing, they do this. They do this. Okay, you see? And they even emphasize the coming back. That's the extent.
And then they go into
then they go into these waving, slashing, you know, rather than the wrist. And as I remember saying, we should handle the wrist just like a samurai, not gripping, but as if you're holding an egg. See? Like, then you can, it's again about relaxation and tension. If you're not relaxed, you're constantly gripping, that's why you wave like this. And the jing should come from the wrists, not from the arms. Not use your shoulder to do these things. Okay, so it's more, be very, very quick. The reason the swords are shorter than regular butterfly knives, because they were built for speed, fast. The longer, the heavier. Okay, and they should be handled as such. It's very quick, you know. slice and dice and cut and jab. Okay. So same thing. We'll go back to right fighting set. Okay. So we're gonna add. We don't just work on the defensive movement from here. Okay. You're gonna go like this. Okay. As we go. Okay. It's like 1, 2, 3. Just focus on defending, which is a tando. I think I mentioned to you both that when you do empty hand, your movements are just the opposite. Okay, so defensively, you see, when I do a tansa, the wrist goes up. See? Now when I do the tando, the wrist goes down. Down, up. That's for cuts. That's for defense. Just the opposite. Okay. So this may be an issue, it may not, because once you drop the knives, naturally you're gonna go there. So I don't think it's a problem. Okay. Okay. So you see, if I go like this, okay, that's a defense. Actually, it's an offense in real hand, empty hand. Empty hand. This is a strike. In weapon, this is a defense. You notice I'm not gripping. If I do that, I cannot do this, right? If I grip this, I have to use the arm movement now. If I grip it with all the fingers, see, now I have to do it actually like this. But if I only do it with the fingers, see? So then you get cut, see? Very fast. Rather than 1, 2, that takes too long because you go big range. I go like this. Especially in the old days when you're talking about life and death, you're fighting with someone else with a weapon. You want to be able to cut his hand, eventually cut the throat or the body right away. So you don't want to be for big movements. Big movements are for longer weapons. Short movements are for shorter weapons. See, very fast. Okay, as we will find out. Okay, all right. So, so right fighting stance. Okay, we're going to go as we go forward. 1, 2. Okay, 1, 2. So both hands. The front knee comes back to a two-side. Okay, we do it at an angle rather than flat, 45 degrees, rather than this way. Just give you more coverage. It's diagonal like this. Yeah. Because this prepares you for this. Okay? Right. Okay. Alright, so let's go forward with dart. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4. Very good. And retreat. 1, 2, 3, 4. Sorry about that. I want to make sure all you guys are in frame. Good. No, thanks for the mirror.
I can see the mirror.
I know, it's beautiful. I can see it. I have to go around it. All right, walk back. All right, same drill. So now your right hand becomes the defensive hand. 1, 2, 3, 4. Retreat. 1, 2, 3, 4. And walk forward. All right, so we have a Hansa defense. We also have a Futsal offense that meets the criteria of yin and yang. Okay? All right, so Hansa is matched with Futsal strike. Elbow down. There is a strike in the form just like this. See? That's called Futsal as opposed to Futsal. Futsal elbow is up. Futsal, that most people confuse the two. Okay. So there's time you do this cut, there's time you do this cut. There's time you do this cut. Okay. So the origin of the 8 slashing knives or short swords is the directions. It's the direction it goes. You have down, you have up, you have sideways, and you have diagonal. Okay? So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay? Alright? So that's way slashing. Okay? In this case, we slash with the wrist rather than the arm. Even when your arms are extended, you still see this. Like the in the latter part of the form, you have fox out. Okay, this is fox out. Remember, I said in Augustine forms, they fox out. They go front, side, side. Okay, if that's the case, front, angular, side.
Yeah. And it's interesting. I was playing with that, and it felt to me in my body that from a fighting stance, the fox out is very comfortable on the diagonal. I don't have to modify my shoulder. So
right.
It's interesting because it can fill in that wide gap.
Yeah. So you can see it's very ingenious the way that the cuts or the slashes were put together. Okay? Up. Yeah, you're going up, you're going down. Okay? Okay? You step away.
They go down their swords.
I was like this. I was like, your eyes turn. You're on camera. Candid camera.
Did you see the stuff?
Yes, I did. Very good.
Yeah. It's like the little elves came when we were gone. And
I know.
You can't even tell that they were here.
You're such a girl with your bright clothes, but yours like so much full of life. Look at how guys dress. We're like dead colors.
I'm more feminine, yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
She is full of life.
Right?
Yeah.
But
It's always a difference when you see ladies, you know, they're always bright, full of life. Guys, we want to have our black clothes.
Well, because that means we're warriors.
Right.
And, you know, good guys wear black. Johnny Cash.
Yeah, right.
His words always very simple. Just give me black. Black. Black on black. Right? Black shirt, black jacket, black boots, black pants.
Still today, people do.
It's a very cool image.
It is.
Yeah.
I heard in the Chinese, it's reversed. The good guys wear
Black.
Black.
White.
Oh, they're all white. Yes.
You know, it's the same way. You know, Lone Ranger, all white. In the old days, good guys always wear white, pure. Black guys always wear black because evil.
Right.
And then there's anti-hero becomes, you know, there's not pure, it's like gray area. Okay? Ooh, bad boys are more interesting. High school girls always go for bad boys. Motorcycle riding, you know, troublemaking. You know, they always like it. They don't want them geeky, nerdy guys always get 100% or A plus something. That's still no fun. That's all they do is study. They're interested in science, which I don't understand. You know, I want to be on the back of a motorcycle. You know, using the bat to knock down all the we call them mailboxes. You know, that's more fun. You know. So, but who gets the last laugh? All those geeky guys are now worth millions. Just go to Silicon Valley. All the rich people are young guys in their early 30s. Well, because you would go to Google, Yahoo, or Microsoft. They're a privately owned company. Okay, but when they start selling stocks, hey, just free, give you this stock, or you can buy them dirt cheap, right? $100 a share, you can buy it for $10 because you're an employee. Wow, boom! You're just like, wow, you know.
Yeah.
So that's how they. Or buy a house, just sell my share. But, you know, for 10,000 shares, I still have another 50,000 left. So if you buy man, just for housing in places like Mountain View, they are very expensive because of that. You know, they drove off the property value. Okay, let's go back to. So now we're going to do together. So from right fighting stance, now you could do two ways. One is again do the preparation. You want to the front hand is going to strike. The rear hand is going to defend. So you're doing just the opposite. See how you do it? This is like so you want to do this, right? All right. So you can just start doing this like this. Okay. Just do the opposite, or just be neutral. Because if you're neutral, you can go down or come up, right? Okay. So whichever is easier, but your mind has to be on the ball. Otherwise, you want to achieve that. You know. Okay. So first, we're just going to repeat. Front hand, right side, front hand attack, rear hand defend. Okay. So we're doing this. Okay. 1 and back. 2. Right. 3, 4, and retreat. Same thing. 1, 2, 3, 4. Walk forward. Okay, same thing. 1, 2, 3, 4. Retreat. 1, 2, 3, 4. Very good. All right. Now we're going to, without changing sides, we're going to do the opposite. We're going to strike with the rear hand and defend with the front hand. So you're going to, the body's going to turn into twisting. From here, it's going to be like this. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4. Retreat. 1, 2, 3, 4, and walk back. Rear hand attack, front hand defend. 1, 2, 3, 4. Retreat. 1, 2, 3, 4, and walk back. Good. Get some water. Very good. So this is that splitting concept we have been introduced and practicing. Splitting.
Yeah. Question.
Yeah.
I think I already know the answer, but in the futsal or fudo, the sword is, the hand is basically the model for the position of the blade. Is that correct?
Yes.
So it would be kind of like an angular upcut.
Correct.
Is that correct, right?
Because futsal is this way.
Yeah.
So we just strike this way rather than this way. That would be futsal, which is or line style. Okay. See? This is different between this way and this way. This. Go.
Okay. So my question is, because if I'm really looking at my hand, the blade, if I was to match, would be like that. So do I not want it like?
Yes, you do. Remember, the sword is different from the hand.
Right. So what would be the ideal?
You don't want
position.
Would be like this.
Okay.
No, your hand.
Right. Different. Hands correct. Yes.
Correct. Yeah.
But that for handling the weapon. That was my question.
Right.
Focused on.
Right. So you want to go like this.
Gotcha. Okay.
Now, see, that makes sense to me. But when you, well, no, it doesn't make sense. But when you defended back at the Tonsal, it seemed like right there, like, I guess this is the point where you've already defended.
Yes.
Because it could be knocked loose, but I guess you're already past that point.
Right. Now remember, no matter how powerful the attack is, it doesn't take much energy to defend. That's the same concept. I don't need to do this. If I do this, I have a long moment of lapse between coming back.
Right.
I want to be able to come back this way.
Right.
So I don't want to do this. I defended, but boom, I got hit. Right? I want to go right? I can defend again if I need to defend attack, rather than defend attack like this. You don't want to wave your arms like this. Okay? Now a lot of people will disagree with me, but that's okay. As long as we know what we're working on. Okay? The trouble with most people who teach and learn is that they don't understand what they're doing, why they're doing it. They just learn the movements, memorize the movement, rather than what am I working on? What part of my body am I working on? Which joint am I working on? So in this case, it's all this.
It's all this.
Okay, so you notice my arms are not extended all the way, because the more I extend it, the more likely I'm going to get cut.
Right.
So it's very stingy with our movement, rather than extending myself or overextending myself.
Yeah.
You really see us, then I don't know. Okay, so when we do this, when we do double,
Right in the box still.
right, it's within that framework. I don't want to go out, because the more outside, the farther away I'm from my center line, which is what I need to protect. See, when you do this, you're still working with the box.
Yeah.
You know, maybe with the exception of facto value. You know, 1, 2. See, still wrist. You're gonna hit right. It's all that, okay? Because the swords themselves are very sharp. It doesn't need. We're not really trying to cut a hand off, cut a limb off. Okay? That requires a lot of chopping, bigger movements. We're not. It doesn't matter if I chop his arms off or not. If he's injured, he's dead, right? You know, so we're going for the more vital parts of the body, still the neck. Right? How many people get, oh, they just spewing out like that? Yeah. You hit it, you know, same thing here. Yeah. Boom! Yeah. It's just like, you know, very major artery. Yeah. That's what this is. You know, cut.
Yeah, you cut the tendon. You raise the arm up there.
So it's a different concept. So we understand what the short swords are about when it comes to weapon combat. Then we immediately transfer it to empty-handed combat, knowing that I'm still using the wrist to generate that power. So it can be very close without having to resort to distance to create that jing. Okay? All right, very good. So we did both sides, right? So go back, we're on the left side, right? We did the left side already?
I think we only did one side.
Okay, let's do the left side.
Yeah.
Okay. We start with the right side.
Start with the right.
Yeah, we definitely started with the right.
Okay, so repeat rear hand defense. Okay? 1, 2, 3, 4. And retreat. 1, 2, 3, 4. Very good. Walk forward. Okay, now we're going to combine the two. First, we are going to use front hand to defend in the form of tansa. Rear hand to attack. Folk style. 1, 2, 3, 4. Retreat. 1, 2, 3, 4. Walk back. Same drill. Front hand to attack. Rear hand to defend. 1, 2, 3, 4. Retreat. 1, 2, 3, 4. The more you do it, the more you realize you can explode at will. Right? At will. Now, this is standing up. Likewise, you can do it lying down. Okay? A lot of times, to prevent a person who is on the ground from getting out a post, in grappling terms, posting is basically your limbs, 2 arms and 2 legs. The most structured or balanced posting by doing all 4 posts. But as we know, you don't see any structure with only 3 supports. Yes, possible, but they need to be placed differently, right? Say if that wall doesn't exist, structure becomes very weak. So, for example, he's on top of it. He's posting on this. See what happens? All you have to do is destroy 1 post, then his whole structure collapses. Okay, so you're on the bottom. Boom. That's all you need. See, it doesn't need a lot of power, a lot of distance. You can be right here and still pick up. Right? And then he's going to be on top of you. Not by choice. Right?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Because the minute you destroy one post, what happens? He comes towards you, exposing his head, his neck.
Perfect.
Yeah, whichever post, I'm going to go this side, go that side. Just one. Allows you a lot of power, okay? So that, the more you work on the sword, the stronger, the more explosive your jing will be.
It's amazing how you're like 1 week.
Yeah, just,
So sore the first like
yeah,
3 to 4 days.
Your swords are a lot heavier than, like, at least a quarter or 1/8 heavier than mine, which is an advantage because it really makes you strong. Okay. All right. Let's. So we're on the left side. Left side.
We did both
yeah, we
sides,
did both sides,
front
right.
and rear.
Okay.
We
So
haven't
go back to
combined.
the right side.
We haven't done switching.
Right. Now we're going to do the rear hand defense only. Front hand. No, we did the rear hand defense. I'm going to do front hand defense. Right? I want to do front hand defense. Okay?
Yeah, I think we did.
I think we did.
We did both.
No, we only did the rear hand defense on both sides. We did the rear hand by itself before. We did this.
Yeah,
We
by
did this,
itself,
yeah.
got it.
Right, now you're going to add the strike. Okay? 1, 2, 3, 4, and retreat. 1, 2, 3, 4, and walk forward. Same drill, the rear hand attack, front hand defense. Front hand defense. 1, 2, 3, 4. Retreat. 1, 2, 3, 4. Walk back. Now we're going to switch back and forth. Whenever you finish, whether with the front hand defense or rear hand defense, you come back to the right side forward. Okay? Front hand defense first. 1, rear hand 2, 3, 4, and retreat. Front hand defense. 1, 2, 3, 4. Walk back. Front hand defense. 1, rear hand 2, 3, 4. Retreat. 1, 2, 3, 4. And walk back. And take a break. Get my water. Oh, right there.
I like how last week too you noted to coming back over, and then you noted coming back under. That was
Yeah. Because I remember mentioning this a while ago. Because I noticed some people are doing over when they come back, resume the starting position. Some people come from under. And I said, it's not wrong. Right now we're just doing the over, that's all, okay? And then, in the form, the third form, you have this under. Right? Yep. Okay, so if you see the forms are changing, evolving, and then when you go to the third form, it also shows under. Use up.
yeah.
Right? Use up. And luckily for us, whatever we do with the empty hands, we can transfer the same concept to swords, and vice versa. That's what we're doing, vice versa. Okay, so that's one way, palm up, palm down. Then you have the box out. Box out can be done this way or this way. Well, we know that because, right, the kicking form, okay? Since we have already done the palm down box out, right? So we're going to just, for variety, we're going to change it to this, okay? So before it's this, you see? Now it's going to be.
Yeah, let's set up for Tanzao.
Okay? So the Tanzao eventually becomes Jiangzao. Alright? So
Yeah,
that's
it's interesting that with the Jutsao coming into a strike, it's pretty much have to kind of go into the Jutsao, where the Tanzao, it's you do 2 strikes for 1 position.
Yes. Yeah.
That's interesting.
Well,
Because of the fragility of it.
it depends on what part of the hand you're using. So Tanzao, you use this part of the hand, your arm, this part of your arm, to defend, not this part. But sometimes in a fight, it may happen because, you know, that's the variable that you cannot control. Okay? Your haste, you need to do this, but you did this. That's all right. Okay, so this sets up this. Now this sets up.
Yeah.
Okay? That's what.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Here, 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 here. Whether you're palm up or palm down. Right? Or vertical. Okay? Defense, offense. Defense, offense. In the sword will be different. Remember, the wrist goes just the opposite direction. This is attacking, this is defending. Right? Attacking, defending, down and up.
Yeah. Yeah.
We have to see this. Okay? Now remember, the forms cannot be an open-ended, never-ending form. It has to say, okay, this is it. The rest is it's your job to figure it out. It could not possibly say, oh, by the way, you can do it this way, and this way, and this way, and this way. And the form is 3 million moves. Okay? So when we see this, we say, hey, oh, it's the same concept. Whether I do this or this. Oh, same thing. This. From the palm heel to the edge of the hand. That's done from the very beginning. Right? Remember, some schools, some version of Wing Chun, they do the Hyun Sao differently. We do it down. Some people do it up.
The emphasis on the finger tips.
But if you do it up,
Focus on the
yes,
Right.
yes. It depends on what you're focusing on.
Yeah.
If you focus up, then you have a brush. If you focus up like this, then it's a strike. Whether you do it this way or you do it this way.
Yeah. And with the swords, one is very offensive and one can be very defensive.
Right. In the sword form, when you do this, it's defense. Just the opposite.
Yeah.
Right, because you're doing this.
You're, controlling.
Right, that's why in forms you have down, up, down, up.
Yeah.
Right, same thing. Down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. Right, same thing.
Yeah.
Concepts, okay? Very good.
Just thought of another application for the bringing the hands in, say for going up or this way, whichever, right? Striking, and then bringing it back for another swing, right?
Right.
To keep the
Right. Because if you can come down, you can go up. Right? Well, remember the Okinawa style of Goju Ryu. Hard, soft style. Now, if you substitute the palm heel with the edge of the hand and the wrist, it becomes these movements like this becomes this. These movements becomes if you look at Jim Kelly in pentagram, that's what he's doing. He's doing cat stance, he does this. It's kind of like a signature.
Yeah.
This represents the soft part of the Goju Ryu. The punch represents the hard part of the Goju Ryu. Okay? Soft defense, hard punching.
Yeah.
Did they ever mention this guy? Never. Okay? So it becomes a style that we're different because we have the soft aspect as opposed to Shotokan's pure hard. Okay? There's not a single soft movement in Shotokan. That's their style. They don't do soft. And you do Tai Chi Chuan, which is pure soft. Alright? So eventually the soft styles are regarded as internal ones. The hard styles tend to be regarded as external. Chi is intangible, you can't see, it's soft. Body, strength, that's you can display, that's hard.
Kind of like young and old.
Yin yang. Exactly right.
Because you get older, you can't do the. I'm imagining it's harder to do the hard stuff.
Absolutely, absolutely. Now, the Shotokan founder, his name is Masayama. He's the guy who's like he feels like you know, he's very, very powerful. You know, he's not very tall, but he's like very wide. Okay, he's known to kill a bull with one blow. I didn't see it happen, but or used to wrestle a bull. Okay, so he's a very powerful guy, and it's a very, very famous picture of him trying to snuff out the flame of a candle by using a punch. It's a very, very famous picture. You see it. Yeah, you see the very concentrated, very intense look. And doing this, and the flames in front of him.
Is he just cutting air? Cutting wood?
He's kind of cheap. This yeah, he's using the speed and power to snuff out.
Yeah.
So
punching.
we just do it. Right. So they use blunt instruments. Okay. We use surgical knives. We're not interested in chopping off something or destroying something. We want to cut and dissect. Okay. So, in his old age, this is what I heard in stories. His senior students, caught him practicing Tai Chi in the back. And he doesn't tell people that he does that. Okay? Because no matter how strong, how durable you are, you can't fight time. As you get older, you become weaker and slower, more fragile. Then you start to embrace the softer aspect of fighting. Borrowing in it, rather than conflicting with the enemy. Okay? We know this from day one. We don't want to be doing this big looping as you get older. That's not going to be possible. We say, hey, joints. Your wrist joints are going to be, unless you have arthritis, which will happen if you punch without treating your hand. You know, some people, heart style, they have calluses, they can't even hold hand. There's one guy I saw on YouTube. It's like a Hong Kong documentary on the Fujian crane, which is the ancestral style of the karate. Okay, so one guy who does this every day, he looks to me about in his late 60s. He does this. Big rock. Hard. But his hands are like this thick. This thick. Just
I can't even hold water.
and it's like, yeah, you killed me, but can you write your name? You know? In the old days, the Chinese practitioners, they do practice the iron palm, okay? But they soak in a type of liniment. It's a combination of wine and many different kinds of herbs. They soak before and after. They practice. They practice so it's like a sandbag. You know, in the beginning, it's beans, big pieces. There are a lot of air in between. Okay, as you get stronger, you increase the intensity. So from beans to eventually sand. You know,
Or steel balls?
or steel balls. Yeah. So they have a method. Top, bottom, and you know, they have a way of doing that, 8 different movements to work every part of the hand. And they just soak. But you know what? I always believe, you know, that time you train your footwork, train your skills. You know, if he cannot lay a finger on you, what's the point of having an arm palm? He can't hit you.
Right.
Like you're carrying a huge sword, yeah. Yes, it's going to split me in half, but you know, taking a long time to bring it, right? Same thing. Any type of breaking demonstration, you go, right? No one's going to stand there unless you do that. Don't move. Let me cut you in half, right? Even what they call a vibrating palm, they still need time to do that. They cannot do it at will. Okay? They still have to concentrate. Yes, but I'm gone. You got hit 20 times already. While you're concentrating and cultivating your chi to the one point to vibrate and break the center brick. Very impressive. And that is a demonstration of chi, but I ain't going to be there. Fighting is not. All right. I'm moving.
Yeah.
Okay? So I don't discount the value of those trainings, but I believe that in modern days, our time is precious.
Right.
We don't live in a monastery. We have 10, 12 hours a day to train. Yeah, I'll devote 2 hours just to train iron palm, and then 2 hours to do this, 2 hours to do that. Strength training for 2 hours, you know, and footwork, you know. Yes, but you have a job, you have a family, you have obligations. You know, so we don't do that. We don't have time. So the time we are spending on training the body, to rehard the body, just training skill.
Yeah. Makes sense.
All right. So right side again. Okay. So this time we're going to go. Remember the one that we did earlier. Okay. We're gonna move. So we're gonna like 1, 2, 1, 2. Okay. 1, 2. So your footwork, you're doing it twice, right? The first one you defend. 1, 2, 1, 2. Just like 1, 2, 1, 2. Good. Time stop, punch. Time stop, strike. Okay. Front hand only. Repeat. 1, 1, 2, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1. 4, and repeat 1, 2, 3, 4, and walk back. Same drill, front hand, repeat 1, 2, 3, 4, retreat 1, 2, 3, 4. So this is different from the open hand defense, where the tansa movement is bigger. If I were to use the punch, like this, 1, 2, right? See? These bigger movements, but instead it should be like very small. to really, in the beginning, you feel there's no power.
Right.
Because your body wants to say, give me more distance. Because you're used to this big ones, right? Nothing wrong with that. But we are training specifically for jing. So you want to force yourself to stick to this smaller movements. Okay. So we did the left side, okay? Same thing. 1, 2, 3, 4. And retreat. 1, 2, 3, 4. And just do this 100 times and feel the power. I'm sure you're already, because your body is getting used to it. Right? Very good. So, we're going to do the rear hand. Okay? We're still on the left side. Because we're doing the front hand like this. Now we're going to do the rear hand. Okay? Same thing. Just like we did this. 1, 2, 1, 2. We're going to go 1, 2, back. 1, 2, back. Okay? 1, 2, 3, 4. Retreat. 1. Make sure you bring your rear hand, front hand back. And bring the front hand back. Bring it back. So this hand, just like this. Right? It's no different from this. Bring it back.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Continue backwards. 2, 3, 4. Okay. Walk forward. Same drill with the rear hand. 1, 2, 3, 4. Retreat. 1, 2, 3, 4. And walk back. Isn't it interesting? It's like, I've done this with the other way, but now it's just slightly different than your body said, oh,
Yeah.
just like you're used to standing still when you do the body, the arm says, I'm not used to that. But you're doing the same thing as before, but I'm not used to that.
Yeah.
It's really strange.
Very strong.
But that's the depth.
Perfect. We like that.
Because we only know so many movements, so many effective movements, so many simple, direct, and effective movements. Now we know them even better, the depth. Okay. So now we come to the conclusion of defensive hand becomes offensive hand. Offensive hand becomes defensive hand. Okay? So, in the sword form, you will have that from here. Right? Right? So this comes back, this moves forward like this, right? This is the same thing as this. This, same thing as this. You split, again you split. Right? The next one, this is the lanza. Okay? So from here, you go tan sao, fuk sao, then lan sao and jam sao. Okay. But before we do that, we're going to the sword, I call it swordless sword form. And you're going to go left, right, left, right. So let's start with the right side. Okay? So you're doing this form like this. Okay? You're doing 1. Okay? 2. 3.
Just switch it. Same
Oh,
thing.
exactly right. Yeah. That's right. You know, you see it right away.
Yeah.
Okay? So
It's like in nature, so that's the way you trained us.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, yeah, it's a concept. Okay? So 1, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, and retreat. 1, 2, 3, 4, It's very easy because,
Very comfortable.
yeah, because you already have setup. The outgoing hand, right,
Right?
becomes, see? That's all you do is this. Fuksa, tansa, fuksa, tansa. And the hand, both hands are doing the same thing, it's just in reverse order.
Yeah. I noticed you coming into the center line. I suppose you can also do take off where you left off, right? Two versions.
Right. You can
Right
bring it
at the
away.
center,
Mhm.
right?
You can go
Or
like that.
just straight out.
Right.
Which would be more angular, I guess.
Well, you start here, then you can come back to do it, or just from right here.
Yeah. Well, to me, it seems like
You get more
Straight
jing if you
center
go in the
line.
center?
more.
No, it's just, I was thinking you might get more jing when you come back because you're trying to set up more. But not necessarily true, no.
Yeah, about the same.
Yeah.
It's like center line or open because you're coming in from the angle.
Right, exactly.
It's
Well, the beauty of going from side to side is when you go into the other side, you come center now, right? Yeah,
Yes.
right? See, if I'm here, just use a single hand, right? See? Side, side. Because before I can go from my right to my left, I need to pass my center line. So wherever he's coming in, I defend it. Whether it's a stabbing motion or cutting motion, see?
yeah.
Okay, for example, so I'm here, okay, and then you are cutting with that hand, straight in.
Oh, okay.
See? Because I have to go through my center line before I aim. I have to, no choice.
Yeah.
I have to go from left to right, I have to pass the center first before I go to the other side. So from here to here, you already pass through. So you send it up right here. And then you cut it. That's called, remember, you're cutting your own center line.
Cutting your own.
Right. Or you can go, cut, come back to center line, and cut again. So there's a reestablish or return.
Or return.
Right? Return will be like this. Reestablish will be you're here and just go from there rather than returning. So in this case, if I cut this way, return before I can do this, right? I just go from here to here. So I will reestablish
Yeah.
from where I am at the starting point of my next stroke.
Yeah.
Again, it goes back to returning to the center line or reestablishing the center line. Either way. Okay. So now we have done that, right?
Yep.
Okay. So what we need to see is it's really beneficial for your own growth. You should see if I'm going from side to side, left to right or right to left, what actually transpires when you start doing it single-handed, it becomes very clear. See, right side, right? I'm going rear hand. Okay? Okay, now the attacking hand needs to be the defending hand. But I'm going to defend on the right side. Okay, if I take away one arm, what happens? That's what you want to do. Okay? And from here, I'm attacking, defending, attacking, defending.
Yeah.
Right? Okay?
Same thing as always.
Yes, that's the root. So some people can't see that. They only see, they learn it as a technique.
Right.
So they can master the technique, but not understanding when you take one arm away, they don't know what to do. So you have to see, oh,
Yeah.
okay? Okay, then you see, what's the reverse? Tan, fuk, fuk, tan, fuk, tan.
Depends what
Okay.
you open with.
Anytime you have one way, immediately say, how do I do the other way? Okay? So now it's become interesting. Yin and yang, yin or yang yang. Sounds like a tennis name. Okay. All right.
Or yang yin.
Or yang. Yes.
Right. Yin yang, yang yang, yin yin,
or
yang yang.
Okay. So when you know the rules, you can start breaking the rules. Okay. If you don't know the rules, how can you break them? You don't even know that such a rule. You have to stop at the stop sign. That's the rule. I didn't know that. So how can you break the rules when you don't know the rules? Okay. So in California, very few people go full stop. That's when you break the rules. I didn't go. It's called rolling stop.
Yeah.
Right? It's just put my foot on the California stop. It's just so right?
Safe.
Yes, safe. I'm looking. Unless there's a car coming from the other direction, then you stop. You go, you peek out. No cars go, right? Right? So, that's because you know the rules. If you don't know, just go. Did I break the rules? Sorry, right? Okay. So, if you know the rules, feel free to break them.
What would be an example? Breaking the rules.
Yin and yang is the rule. So if I go yang, which is palm up, and you go yin. Yang, yang. Yin, yin. Just remember, this is yin. Yin is dark, which is the back of your hand. Yang. Okay? So if I go tan sao and jiao sao, yang and yang.
Yes.
Yin, jet sao, fuk sao. Yin yin. Because you know it came from this. And you start with the tan sao, you end with the fuk sao. You start with the fuk sao, you end with the tan sao. Right? Or here. Yeah. The fuk sao, jet sao. Right? And it's already here. It's already there.
It is.
Alright? Yeah. So this will be yin and yin. Yin and yin. Yang. So feel free to experiment. It's very, very interesting, the findings. It's always like, wow, I just follow the principle. Yin yang. Yin yang is the primary principle that I always follow. This is the rule. And okay, now that I know the rules, how do I change it up? Both palms facing up, both palms facing down. How do I make this work? Defending, attacking, defending. Attacking, defending. How that is. Okay, very good. So, we did the right side already, right?
Yes.
Okay, let's do the left side. Same thing. So start with the front hand defend, okay? So 1, right? 1, 2, 1, 2, right? Okay, go back. 1, 2, 3, 4. Retreat 1, 2, 3, 4. Excellent. Very good. So that's switching from side to side. Of course, you can also start with the rear hand. The only difference is either the front hand or rear hand. But when you start doing switching, it's the same. Exactly. It doesn't matter how you start. The end result is that you're still going back and pushing. Right, exactly. Doesn't matter if you start with the front hand or rear hand. The next move, you're going to switch. Either you're simple or you're complex, or twisting body, okay? So next one, we're going to do a repeat. Repeating on the same side, not repeating the hands. So repeating hands will be like this, 1, 2, 1, 2, or 1, 2, or 1, 2, you know? This one must repeat only the right side. which means no matter what I do with my arms, I'm staying on my right side. And we're repeating on the right side. So it looks like it's 1, 2.
Go with line.
Right. Okay. 1, 2. Okay. 1, 2. And set up. 1, 2. Yeah, you set up.
One dart.
Right.
Yeah.
One dart. Yeah.
2 moves.
Right. Okay.
I'm so sorry to interrupt.
Oh, that's all right.
I can't believe I'm watching you guys do this. I used
What?
to practice this.
You practice Wing Chun?
Yeah.
All right. Your name?
Ali.
Ali. Ali.
Lee, nice to meet you. I just moved up the street.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
Is this your class?
Yeah.
Can you teach her every day or what?
No, I only teach twice a week, Tuesdays and Thursdays.
Wow, my busiest days.
Your business days, yeah. Well, that's too bad, but anytime you have time, you come by.
Do you have a card or something?
Yeah. Hold on one second.
Sorry, guys.
No, it's alright. How's it going? Loretto.
Loretto and
Loretto,
Justin.
Ali, good to meet you.
Nice to meet you. I'm
Justin.
Justin? How long has been doing this?
Almost 3 years
We
now?
started at the same time?
Yeah.
Just a little over 2.5.
I just started 6 months ago.
Yeah.
I go to the studio in Sherman Oaks.
Oh, wait.
I've seen you on Van Nuys Boulevard? Oh, okay.
I love it. I did Taekwondo, I did Hapkido,
Yeah.
I did some wrestling, and this by far is the most instinctive.
Oh, that's
good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
cool.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
great. It's good backgrounds.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
How much do you charge?
For the group lessons, 100 a month.
Okay. That's reasonable.
I think it's worth it. Yeah.
You guys do the collie sticks and all that stuff?
We do double swords. Same.
Oh, even better.
Yeah, we do double swords. Yeah. In fact, that's what we're doing, but we're doing in empty hand form.
Okay.
Because the weapons and empty hands are transferred back and forth.
Cheese salad, you guys do all that?
Oh yeah, with the cheese out, we do, yeah.
Very nice. Well, thanks you guys.
Okay, yeah. Nice to meet you. Yeah, take care. Okay. So we're in the right hand stance.
Right
Okay.
stance.
So same thing, we're gonna go 1, oh, down.
Yeah.
Okay.
One.
1, 2. Yeah. Just 2 movements. Both the same. From here, 1, 2. 2 here. The first one is double-handed, right? From here, 1. This one, 2. Okay. Start with 1 again. 1, 2. Okay, and 2, 2. 3, 2. Right. 4, 2.
Right.
So if you're having a little difficulty, just slow it down like I just did. 1 at a time, like this. Okay, from here. 1, 2. 1, 2.
It's like neck climbing.
You start to see they all come together, full
Yeah.
circle.
Yeah.
There's a reason why the forms are taught this way. You know, I mean, I can teach the dummy form first, but the person who's learning it is simply meaningless. All he's learning is the sequence. That's all.
Right.
They mean nothing to this person. But once you go through the previous forms, then you get to the dummy form. Eventually, the sword form becomes wow. And you can recognize this movement, right? All right, let's get into the left side forward. Same thing. So start with tansa and lansa. Okay. 1, 2, 2, 2, 3, 2, 4, 2. Very good. And retreat. 1, 2, 2, 2, 3, 2, 4. 2, and walk forward. Do one more time. 1, 2, 2, 2, 3, 2, 4, 2. Retreat. 1, 1, 2, 2, 2, 3, 2. 4, 2, and walk back. Same thing with this drill, with this side. 1, 2, 2, 2, 3, 2, 4, 2, and retreat. 1, 2, 2, 2, 3, 2, 4, 2, and back. Very good. So in essence, it's same thing. Okay? Except the source is this. The source doing this. I mean one more cut. So we go 1, 2, 3. That's all. Basically you're doing this. Now, so basically you strike 3 times. Okay? First one is a 复扫 strike, 将扫 strike, and then 拦扫 strike. That's it. Okay, so basically neck, neck, body. Neck, 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 body. Right. So eventually becomes
Fast
Yeah.
machine gun.
That's why it's like flick, flick, flick. You're flicking. Yeah, you're flicking like this.
Yeah.
Good job, good job.
Thanks, Lee.
It's a real pleasure. Oh, thank you. Real pleasure. Mike won't be joining us until next month because he's got, tonight is like their anniversary for, I don't know, how many years. They've been there for a long time. And then he has work scheduled Thursday. Then he has company coming from Texas. Then he's taking a week off. They have timeshare somewhere. So yeah, great, enjoy. That's what it's all about. Oh, of course, Marco's